Hello everyone. Welcome to UIAS. Let's discuss ISRO RLV mission. ISRO and DRDO. The Indian Space Research Organization successfully conducted the landing demonstration of its under-development reusable launch vehicle, RLV, in Chitradurga of Karnataka. The test was conducted at the Aeronautical Test Range, ATR, Chitradurga, Karnataka. The spacecraft resembles NASA's space shuttles that acted as the US Space Agency's biggest transporter into low Earth orbit, LEO. The spacecraft took off via an Indian Air Force Chinook helicopter. It was launched as an underslung weight to an altitude of 4.5 kilometers above the surface on the heavy-lift chopper. Once it reached the test altitude, based on the RLV's Mission Management Computer Command, the RLV was released in mid-air. The release condition was matched by 10 parameters covering position, velocity, altitude, and body rates as the spacecraft released autonomously. RLV then performed approach and landing maneuvers using the integrated navigation, guidance and control system and completed an autonomous landing on the ATR airstrip. The autonomous landing was carried out under the exact conditions of a space re-entry vehicle's landing high-speed, unmanned, precise landing from the same return path as if the vehicle arrived from space. Landing parameters such as ground relative velocity, the sink rate of landing gears, and precise body rates, as might be experienced by an orbital re-entry space vehicle in its return path. This is the first time in the world that a winged body has been carried to an altitude of 4.5 kilometers by helicopter and released for carrying out an autonomous landing on a runway. RLV is ISRO's attempt at developing essential technologies for a fully reusable launch vehicle to enable low-cost access to space. The Indian Space Agency has established itself as a cost-effective launch service provider in the billion-dollar satellite launch market, and the new system will further strengthen its position. RLV's configuration is the same as that of an aircraft and combines the complexity of both launch vehicles and aircraft. RLV's configuration is the same as that of an aircraft and combines the complexity of both launch vehicles and aircraft. RLV is essentially a space plane with a low lift-to-drag ratio requiring an approach at high glide angles that necessitates a landing at high velocities of 350 km per hour. ISRO demonstrated the re-entry of its winged vehicle RLV TD in the HEX mission in May 2016. The re-entry of a hypersonic suborbital vehicle marked a major accomplishment in developing reusable launch vehicles. All about RLV TD. The Indian Space Research Organization's, ISRO's, reusable launch vehicle prototype, called Reusable Launch Vehicle Technology Demonstrator, RLV TD. It successfully performed an autonomous approach and landing test on a runway in the early hours of Sunday, 2nd April. The airdrop landing experiment, called RLV LEX, was conducted in collaboration with the Defense Space Research Organization, DRDO, and the Indian Air Force, IAF, at the Aeronautical Test Range. The airdrop landing experiment marks the first time a winged body has been carried to an altitude of 4.5 kilometers by a helicopter and released for carrying out an autonomous landing on a runway. One of the critical technologies that ISRO had to demonstrate was the approach and autonomous landing of RLV TD on a runway. The Indian Space Agency accomplished this milestone as part of the RLV LEX mission. This was the second phase of the technology demonstration missions for the reusable launch vehicle prototype. The RLV TD flew to a height of 4.5 kilometers above mean sea level. Once the predetermined parameters were attained, the RLV TD has released mid-air. The release conditions included 10 parameters, such as position, velocity, altitude, and body rates, among others. RLV TD was released autonomously. After being released, it performed approach and landing maneuvers using its integrated navigation, guidance, and control system. ISRO has successfully achieved the autonomous landing of a space vehicle. Thank you, everyone. Do subscribe to this channel. Use code SPLIVE to join Unacademy.